it's not that we don't want to do this, it's the fact that we have to do it in a safe manner.
Pain on both sides of this, everyone viewing the situation from a different lens. However, officials are still trying to determine if it's even possible to do any additional searches. They say the building could collapse at any moment, and that building eventually will have to be demolished. Rahel?
Adrian, so much pain, as you pointed out, and emotion on both sides of this. A really complicated picture there in Iowa. Adrian, thank you. John?
All the grainy, unexplained photos, the mysterious flashes of light in the sky, the objects over cities that should not be there. NASA about to open an historic meeting on UFOs. Yes, the truth is out there.
Michael McDonald, Steely Dan, Kenny Loggins, the CEOs of Smooth are on Yacht Rock Radio. Buttery soft rock hits from the late 70s and early 80s. Yacht Rock Radio, docked on Channel 14 all summer and available year-round on the SXM app, included in all trials and popular plans.
Attention business owners, are you sitting there right now worrying about payroll this Friday? Will your customers' payments come in time to cover that payroll? Are you wondering, are my customers having cash flow issues? Are they going to file bankruptcy and we don't get paid? If you're asking yourself these questions, then you should be asking yourself, why are we not calling AmeriFactors? Hi, I'm Kevin Goen, president of AmeriFactors. At AmeriFactors, we will advance you the cash you need on the day you generate your invoices for the goods or services that you provide, and we wait to get paid. Also with AmeriFactors, if your customers can't or won't pay, then you don't have to pay us back. We take the loss, not you. So if you want to stop worrying about your money and your customers, and you want to grow your business, call AmeriFactors at 800-884-3863. That's AmeriFactors, 800-884-3863. Or AmeriFactors.com for approval and funding within 24 hours.
Sherry is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist.
Hi, my name is Sherry. I'm 76 and I live on the Oregon coast. My husband Sam, we've been married 53 years. We have a medical device company. I have 2 daughters and then 2 granddaughters. I noticed that thoughts and memories were not there like they were when I was much younger. A friend gave me a bottle of Prevagen and said it had helped her. So I thought, well, why not try it? Since taking Prevagen, my memory has gotten better, my thought processes have gotten better, and it's like the puzzle pieces have all been put together. I wish I would have known about Prevagen a few years before. It's worth a try.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1758. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1758. That's 800-575-1758. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dr. Rick here. Another sign you're becoming your parents is getting particular about details that don't matter.
The craziest thing happened when we got tacos the other day. Was it Wednesday or Thursday we got tacos? I know it wasn't Tuesday because that's when I went to my hairdresser. Shoot, what day was it?
See how we all lost interest there? Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with HomeQuote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states.
North Korea's failed space launch. Earlier this morning, North Korea tried to launch a military reconnaissance satellite, but it crashed into the LOC due to what state media called engine issues. Intelligence coming out of South Korea suggests the failure was due to a rushed launch and a changed flight path. North Korea plans to attempt a second launch soon. Also this morning, protests in Brazil, they're heating up. Riot police fired tear gas and water cannons at indigenous groups who were armed with bows and arrows. The protests are over Brazil's Congress moving toward approving a bill that will limit the recognition of new indigenous ancestral lands throughout the country. And right now, Secretary of State Tony Blinken is in Sweden and pushing for leaders to support Sweden's membership to NATO. Yesterday, Blinken spoke with his Turkish counterpart, urging them to change their mind and approve Sweden's accession. Turkey has been a holdout, standing in Sweden's way. After doing pretty much the same with regard to Finland's NATO membership, Turkey eventually supported Finland joining the alliance in March. Blinken hopes to have this whole matter solved by mid-July. John?
So in just a few minutes, a NASA task force will hold a meeting on UFOs, or as it calls them, UAPs. That stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. A group of experts spent 9 months studying data and will discuss their findings. CNN's Tom Foreman joins us now. Tom, are we alone?
Well, you and I aren't. I don't know about other people. A lot of people don't have a lot of friends. But this space thing, what are we going to say, John? They're going to say, we found some things that we can't entirely explain and that we want to look into more. That's what my guess is. For a long time, the government wouldn't say anything at all about this. Then the military came along and finally said, there's some things out there that we're not quite sure what it is. Defense people looked at some of these images as well, things captured by pilots up there, and started saying, maybe there's something strange about this. So what's different, you look at these videos and you say, what is that thing? Is it performing in some way that we don't understand? And if so, where did it come from? Is it some kind of a test vehicle from another country? Is it from space? Is it some aerial phenomenon we don't know about? It's funny, you even said unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Well, it's also been unidentified aerial phenomenon, all of which is replacing the UFO, which we always used to talk about, unidentified flying objects. So they've had this group in place. They've been looking at this. This is the first peek at NASA's look at this. This is the difference. The military has looked at this before. They continue doing what they're doing. This is the first time NASA has jumped in on this. They have a 16-member committee which they put together that's been looking at this. They're coming out with their initial findings before they put out an actual report on all this, John.
People are very interested in this, Tom, and as you say, I think the significance here is it is being discussed now openly, even if we may not get definitive answers.
Yeah, that's right. And although I must say that everybody who's looked at it so far, in all these different agencies, NASA included, has predicated it all by saying, we don't really see evidence that this is coming from some extraterrestrial source. If it's anything, it's something on ground. And to be sure, the military looking at this looked at a whole bunch of these. They've had hundreds of these reports. And many of them, they ultimately said, this was a weather balloon, or this was some kind of flock of birds. It was something that showed up in a way that it shouldn't have. In one case, even just like plastic bags flying around. Honestly, the acronym I think they're going to take up is TWSDRLTTA, which will be things we still don't really like to talk about.
Very catchy. Tom Foreman, as always, thank you very much for that.
That's a good acronym for you. John Berman, Tom, thank you. North Korea's attempt to launch a spy satellite didn't go as planned. What intelligence experts are saying about the failed mission when we come back.
Is your HR department struggling? Is payroll becoming unmanageable? What about insurance? When you track hours for dozens or perhaps even thousands of employees, Paychex all-in-one human resources, insurance, and payroll solutions can bring it all together. You'll have access to HR guidance, best practices, and employee tools. Get the insurance coverage you need to protect your company and competitive benefits for your employees with cost-sensitive health insurance, mobile access to HR analytics, training, and 50 years of expertise in payroll, HR, benefits, and insurance. Paychex can help you stay up to date on changing regulations, get recommendations, and improve employee benefit options. Paycheck's suite of next-generation HR solutions can help fine-tune your operations and assist in taking your business to the next level. Sign up today for 2 months free at paychex.com/future.
Insurance is sold and serviced by Paycheck Insurance Agency, Inc., 225 Kenneth Drive, Rochester, New York, 14623, California license number 0Z28207.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, Prostastream, Prostagenics, and others. Want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA. It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer. And discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery. 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com. Prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
Golfers know that to play your best, you go to your happy place. And you'll find that happy place in the golf capital of the world, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach was recently voted by traveling golfers as America's favorite buddies trip destination. It's home to 80 great courses, 60 miles of sandy shores, and endless dining and entertainment options. The beach gets golfers, and golfers get the beach. Visit happyplacemb.com to start planning your trip today.
From the healthcare industry to the impact of artificial intelligence on labor, the decline of civil discourse, and the relationship between gun control and suicide. Listen to The Assignment with me, Audie Cornish,
on the SXM app.
Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter has been diagnosed with dementia. That's according to a statement from the family. They say that she continues to live happily at home with her husband, enjoying spring and planes and visits with loved ones. Joining us now for more, this is Dr. Sanjay Gupta. Sanjay, she is 95 years old. How surprising is this diagnosis?
Well, age is obviously a huge risk factor. We know that she's been generally very healthy. She's been this huge advocate, as you know, Kate, for mental health overall. But age is a risk factor. If you look at people over the age of 65, that's when you see a sharper uptick, especially when it comes to Alzheimer's disease, Alzheimer's dementia. We don't know specifically what type of dementia she's been diagnosed with. And then as you go from 75 to 84, the numbers go up even more. She's 95, as you mentioned, and she's in that category where you have the highest percentage of people who are going to have at least Alzheimer's type dementia. Age is the biggest risk factor. There's other risk factors as well, including family history. That can be a risk factor, previous traumatic brain injury, race, ethnicity. Those can all be risk factors as well. So not a huge surprise. We heard that she had been in the hospital in 2019, but had not heard anything about a potential potential dementia diagnosis before yesterday, so it seems to have, not a surprise necessarily, but more sudden than I think a lot of people expected.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And also, it is a reminder of how so many Americans, so many families face the challenges of dealing with dementia these days. Talk us through the symptoms associated with dementia and when people know that it's something much more significant than forgetfulness.
Yeah, it's a really important question. I think it's probably one of the most common questions we get, because there are people who develop just sort of more natural, expected, age-related memory challenges a bit. It's not preordained at all that happens. But how do you know when it's actually turning into something like dementia? For example, when you talk about forgetting something, if you forget the name of an acquaintance, that's something that probably happens to everybody from time to time. That's normal. But if you forget the name of a family member, a close family member, that would be something that would be considered more something that would be suspicious for dementia. I always say if somebody forgets where their car keys are, that's normal. If they forget what their car keys are for, that would be something that's more like dementia. But as a general rule, Kate, if you're thinking about this or anyone's thinking about this in their own family, have the symptoms started to interfere with their activities of daily living, just how they conduct their lives? If it's gotten to that point, that becomes increasingly suspicious for dementia.
And so much when it comes to dementia is the support system around whomever is suffering from it. We know, of course, the former First Lady is surrounded by her loving family. What is helpful to know for the rest of us who have someone who is suffering from dementia, how we can best help them?
Well, I think before the diagnosis, even to make sure that there's not something else that's going on here. And I'm sure with Mrs. Carter, that's been done. The doctors have probably really have targeted that and figured out that this is in fact dementia. But there are other things that can mimic dementia, even something as simple as hearing loss. A lot of people have hearing loss, and it's not so much that those people are forgetting things, it's that they didn't ever hear it in the first place. So you want to sort that out. There are other things that can mimic the symptoms of dementia as well. I think it's important also, there's been some medications that have been approved. There hadn't been any medications for over a decade. Now you got a couple that have been approved. That's really important. And then if you're talking to people who have dementia, patience and grace, Kate, more than anything else. Don't interrupt. Ask simple questions, yes or no. Keep familiar surroundings. Those sort of things can go a long way towards making it easier for them and for the caregivers as well.
Absolutely. And patience and grace is something that we absolutely can associate with Dr. Sanjay Gupta as well. It's good to see you, Sanjay. Thank you. Rahel.
Well, coming up for us, a contentious school board meeting in Florida last night with passionate remarks from the teacher who's under investigation for showing a Disney movie to her 5th grade class, and from students representing the LGBTQ community. We'll be right back.
Instead of representing me and other LGBTQ plus students, because yes, we exist, you instead have alienated and made us feel as if our entire existence is an issue to you.
Did you know you could get home and away feeds for every MLB, NBA, and NHL game on your phone? Every game, all season. It's all on the SXM app. Sports the way they're meant to be heard, with your hometown announcers just a tap away. Search for your team and tap the star on the corner of the screen and save it as your favorite. An incredible finish! And if you love college sports, when the game is on, just search for your school. It's always a home game when you listen to sports on the SXM app. Free for most subscribers.
Ladies.